I started this one.
This one's awesome.
Yeah, it's really hard to know what to even say about it.
Was this one of your
so
first pieces?
Awesome. In 2006, after I met Sandra Scow and learned that there was such a thing as this type of art, I didn't even know the name. Somebody else told me when I went to Bend, Oregon. She said, oh, I showed her some pictures. She said, oh, that's assemblage art. And I thought, oh, okay, sure, I'll call it assemblage art. So I did. That's what I call it. So after I learned that it was assemblage art, I came back and anyway, I started making this art in 2006. And I made a piece every month for 2 years. So that's 24 pieces. And so that's when I made this. It was in that time period that I made this, between 2006 and 2007. So yeah, it's one of my first pieces, but I don't know which
is first.
Which number. No, I might have written it somewhere. So I had this idea to make this white thing with nautical knots, because I had made my ships. So apparently I made this after my ships. I'd been to the Center for Wooden Boats, and I just loved the ocean, even though I hated water. I hated the thoughts of being on the water, and I didn't even dare. Afraid of water, afraid to swim, afraid of anything over my head, afraid of anything over my neck. Anything over my head is scary. Anyway, so I wanted to make this thing, and I wanted to make it in this little box about like this. So I started thinking about it, and I thought, no, that's not going to work. And then we went to empty my mom and dad's basement and move my mother into another house. This is after my dad passed away. And I found these molds. And these molds, they had used these molds to make chess pieces just like this. And they had made 2 sets of chess pieces. I mean, 2 chess sets with these exact molds. And they kept everything. They were, they were born in 1924 and 1925 and lived during the Depression and during the war and everything. So anyway, they just kept all their stuff. So I had been to the Cracked Pot, which is a ceramics and pottery store. It was in Idle Falls. It's since closed, but Ben and I would go there when I was homeschooling Ben. He and I went there and we made things. And so I knew that Cracked Pot still had molds like this. So I went to them and I said, can you make me some of these chess pieces? And they did. But I made 1 set plus an extra king and queen. So my idea was to make something like this. But I couldn't fit these molds in this little tiny box I had chosen. So I just kind of waited till I could find the right size of box. When I first saw these faces, I looked at them and I thought, wow, they look like they're concave, and then they look like they're convex, and they reminded me of those faces in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, how they stick out and they look at you while you're walking by. So if you move your camera back and forth,
right,
their whole chin turns. If you walk back and move back and forth, their chin.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you should probably just move the whole camera straight like that, straight back and forth. It was just inspiring. That's really what inspired me to make this in the first place. And when I opened these molds, they were in their boxes. And when I opened them, they were pristine. They were very, very clean inside, which I was very happy about. So I decided to make this chess piece, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't know how to do it. And finally, one day, I saw this green ammo box that I had acquired from the Army store. And it had a big rectangular lid on it, and it had all these, compartments already. And there's a compartment here, and there are these compartments, and they had these walls in them already. And there was a compartment back here and one down here. Yeah, so I found this ugly, army green box, and I thought that is exactly what I need to use. So I started putting in a few, I think, no, this is the shelf. This is the actual shelf. It had holes in it and things just like it is. Yeah, so it had all these compartments. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make this building. And I went to, every time I go to Idle Falls on Hit Road, I see this building. It looks like this. And I have a picture of the actual building, but it has this arch in it. It almost looks exactly like this. This thing is moved down here. Anyway, I thought that is really cool. So I wanted to make a building with columns, with places where I could put all these. I don't even know why I wanted to do this. I thought, what? This is crazy. So anyway, I started stacking all these things, and these are just, I don't think these are, oh yeah, these are coasters right here. These were from my mother's cake decorating kit. She decorated beautiful wedding cakes when I was young. It's how she helped my dad with the family finances. My dad was a school teacher and made almost nothing. Anyway, so these, don't they look awesome? Mm-hmm. And these little pieces of wood, they were already like this. I did not make them like this. I don't know where they came from. And this little arch was around a globe. And I don't know where the globe is. But it had this little thing cut in here. And these little spindles, I don't remember what they came from, but I had 2 of them. And these were the bottom. There are 2 of them, one on this side, one on this side. They were the bottom of a candlestick holder. Mm-hmm. And oh my word.
And the other two are over here. The other halves.
Oh,
or no,
they're different. Size. Yeah, that's what they are. They're the same thing, right? And so I knew I needed to put a light on this part of the mold, to show it. Otherwise, I had picked up this string of lights. They were orange, so they were like Halloween lights. They weren't Christmas lights. And so I had this string where you screw these little lights in, but I didn't want orange, so I took all the orange lights out and I replaced them with these white lights. And I strung them throughout the piece so that you couldn't see them.
Right, because they're hidden in there.
Yeah. So I had to put this little thing in here. Gosh, this is so dusty. I had to put this little thing in here so people could actually see it, so it wouldn't glare in their eyes. Mm-hmm. This is a little bowl, and that's just a little piece of round wood, and that's gosh, I don't know what it is. And, wow, this is the same as this, which is the same as this. Oh, so it must be a coaster, and I And I sanded off the corners. That's what, like these. It was probably just like this. But I sanded the corners off because I wanted them rounded. So this piece is one of those,
Toilet paper.
yeah, toilet paper rolls. And this is just a little corner for a shelf. And back here, this was a trivet. It was white, and this was natural wood probably, and I painted it black. And these came from my parents' house, these little tiles, and I painted them black. And this thing is, oh, hey, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. This is the other half of this. Oh, that's the thing I cut off of this right here. That's the other part of this. Oh, what a good idea. So that's what that is. Okay. So the king and queen are sitting on there. And then this piece up here. I hope they don't ever fall out because they're pretty heavy. And then I just put some decoration up here. Candlestick, just whatever, knobs. That goes on, I think, on the top of a bedpost. And this down here, one of my little pawn. This little pawn is sitting on top of a water faucet. And then another column, cake decorating column. And then just another decorative bathroom thing right here. It's a bathroom. I don't know. I think it has a handle. I think it had a handle. And then there's my signature right there. And this is how you carry it. These handles, there are 4 handles, 2 on each side, because this puppy is heavy. Oh, and this was a shelf. This was part of it, shelf thing up here, the dirt top.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another one on the other side. And yeah. And that side looks just like this side. Some little trumpets, I suppose. This is a trumpet over here too. So it's like da, 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 da. And this was a shelf with little peg things on it that probably for necklaces. This whole thing is one piece. So I just screwed that on there. And these are little toys. I think they're little bugs. They came, I think they were tied together with a string, so they looked like a caterpillar. So I just used those. Excuse me. I think that's all here. Another one of these little shelf. I don't know what to call those. It doesn't matter either.
And it's hard to see through the camera, but there's lots and lots of details back there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell about that as soon as we finish the outside. I'll tell my inspiration about that part. First of all, this whole thing was inspiration. I know when a piece wants to be made because I get this sensation. It's the spirit. It's the spirit of God, which, you know, everybody can feel that, but if they want. But the sensation of ideas coming through my head, it literally comes in like this. So that's how I know. I'm not expressing myself. I was never expressing myself when I made this. It just came to me. It was like this piece wanted to be made. Because when you look at this piece, it inspires me. And so I can't take any credit for making it because it all came to me. All these ideas came from outside of me, or somehow. I don't know how that works. But I can't take the credit for this. And I'll show you some very amazing things about it. So this piece, when I took this in to get to be sprayed with lacquer, white lacquer, because I knew I couldn't do it myself. And I painted this section inside here. It was a little compartment, and I painted it black. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Then I went over here to this section. I did the same thing. I painted it black. I taped newspaper over it, so when I had it sprayed, and the man who sprayed it was a furniture remodeler. He redid furniture. What do you call that? Anyway,
Remake?
yeah, he's
Refurnished?
yeah, something. Anyway, I knew he could paint it better than I could. So I took it over there, had him spray everything, and then when I brought it home, I glued all these things on where I wanted them to be. And I pulled the newspaper off, and I looked at those two black holes, and I said, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do with these two black holes. But so I just kind of got quiet and thought, and I thought, you know, the castle needs some bones. Because I've been to churches, and I've seen a few catacombs, and I've seen bones buried in different places. And then Ben, my son, said, he's the youngest in our family. He was kind of involved at this time. He said, I think it needs some armor. And I thought, gosh, these guys don't even have bodies. How am I going to get armor that even looks like might fit them? So I thought, okay, I'm just going to go see what I can find. It actually was it was November 1st. It was the day after Halloween, and I thought, surely the dollar store has some bones in it. They got to have bones somewhere. So we went to the store, and I found this little rubber skeleton. It was about that tall. And I thought, oh my word. So I bought a couple of them. And then I looked around in the dollar store, and I found some armor that would fit right in that hole. And like the same day I wanted it, I go to the store and I find it. That's how Deseret Industries is. It's the magic store. Well, that day, the dollar store was the magic store. It was so amazing. So I bought it, came home. I put the armor in here. I know it's really hard to see. You probably can't even see it, even if I turn the flashlight on. Maybe we'll be lucky and you can see the armor back there. There's some swords and some, leg armor and stuff. And on people's porches, there was that fake spider web stretched all over. So I asked somebody if I could have some of that, and I grabbed some of it and I stretched it in there. And there probably are some real spider webs in there now, but there's some stretched spider web in there.
You're just gonna have to come see it.
Yeah.
You just have to come.
Yeah, you can come see it. It's really the most awesome thing it's one of them. So then I took my rubber skeletons and I put some stain all over them so they looked authentic. And I stuck this little guy's fingers out here so somebody could say, wait, what is that? There's something back there. I gotta see what it is. And people who care, because not everybody cares. I take this light. I take a light and I shine a light back there and I show them. So Can you see it in there? It looks like bones. It's really amazing. So I think that's the thing that I realized when, can you see it still? Oh, you got his hand. So what amazed me when I was just the overall essence, emotional understanding that I got from this is that everything on the outside looks pristine and everything is in order and everything's white and everything's pure. But hiding in the back of maybe some realm or some kingdom or even family, because that's kind of what a family is, it's a kingdom on the earth. There are skeletons in the closet. There are dead bones decaying inside, and there are people, you know, there's armor for anyone to use for war, you know, fighting with amongst yourselves or fighting somebody else. But just because things look good doesn't mean there's nothing dusty and scary in the corners. So the funny thing is we tried to hide our skeletons and just act like everything is just perfect. Nothing's wrong. There's nothing wrong over here. Don't look over here. But, you know, that's lying to ourselves and to everyone else.
Right. Because it happens to everyone. It
is. It
junk.
Happens. There is.
It's life.
Yeah. Crap happens. I wanted to make a piece of art called Skeletons in the Closet because everybody has skeletons in their closet. My parents had skeletons in their closet. They never told us certain things. They died. They took it to their grave. In fact, they probably died because of those skeletons. They caused their diseases that made them die. And so keeping those skeletons in your closet only makes you rotten and nasty and mean inside. And I've had some skeletons in my closet too that I've exposed, and it's given me a lot of release of shame, and it has freed up my ability to communicate with people and to have relationships with people. So yeah, that's how life is. So if I sold this piece, it would be like $10,000 because I don't want to sell it. Yeah, this piece wanted to be made. I think that's enough. So ciao.